The PlayStation Store is running a great double discount sale right now. As always with a double discount sale, if you're a Plus subscriber, you enjoy double the discount that non-Plus subscribers have. So if you want to take advantage of this sale, definitely do be a Plus subscriber. I'm sure the majority of you guys are anyway, but I thought that would be something I would mention. In this video, we're going to be specifically looking at games under $10. If you guys would like us to make another video looking at some of the more expensive options, we will do that. Quite a bit of time to still take advantage of the sale. I believe it's going on until November 13th. So take your time picking out what games you want to buy. Without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting things off, we have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is down to $8.99. Assassin's Creed 4 is one of those games that I think a lot of gamers missed out on because it was a launch title for the PlayStation 4. Yes, it was released on the PlayStation 3, but it seemed like it was lost in the shuffle a little bit, and I go as far as to say that Assassin's Creed 4 is the best Assassin's Creed. Now, of course, the series took a turn towards a different direction with Assassin's Creed Origins, but prior to Origins, if we're talking about the older Assassin's Creed style, I think Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, you can make an argument it's the best one. I know some people will say AC2. Not gonna get into that debate right now, but AC4 is a fantastic game. Great visuals, a great world to explore. The naval combat is top-notch, and Edward Kenway, the main character, is one of the best main characters in AC. I actually think he's quite underrated as a main character. So there's that too, and now with the game being $8.99, definitely would give it a recommendation.
Once gold was your only care.
I want a taste of the good life. An easy life.
Now your courage terrifies empires.
If a man plays the fool, then it's only fool.
Next up, we have Battlefield 1 for $7.99. Now, Battlefield is pretty notable right now because we are coming up on the release of Battlefield 5, but it seems like that game has so much controversy surrounding it that I would just recommend you guys to get Battlefield 1 instead if you want a quality Battlefield experience. Battlefield 1 was widely considered to be a great game with a great single-player campaign. You had solid multiplayer, and if you actually took advantage and got the premium pass for free when it was offered, you should have all the DLC too. So to get all the DLC, to get Battlefield 1 for $7.99, it is a high-quality multiplayer experience and absolutely a solid pickup at this point. Next up, we have Burnout Paradise Remastered for $8.99. Now, funny story with this one, this game was released earlier this year at $39.99. I was very vocal about how I thought this game was overpriced at $40, and then just in a few months, it was just dropping in price and kept dropping in price, and now we've gotten to the point where it's $8.99 on the PlayStation Store. That is a fantastic price for Burnout Paradise. I just wanted the game to be priced at like $29.99 instead of $39.99, but hey, now that you can get it for $9, how am I not going to give this a recommendation? Burnout Paradise is a tremendous open world racing game. It was released all the way back in January of 2008, so yes, it's an older experience and there are some dated mechanics for sure. But if we're just talking about pure fun gameplay, it doesn't get much better than Burnout Paradise, and at $8.99, it is a great pickup. Next up, we have Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year Edition, which is down to $9.99. Now, I've been vocal about the fact that I think Dragon Age Inquisition was the true first great RPG of this generation. Now, that's not saying a whole lot, considering there weren't a ton of great RPGs leading into the release of Inquisition, but it was a very good game that I would also say has been outpaced by some more recent RPGs, but I still think going back and playing Inquisition, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And with the Game of the Year Edition being as cheap as it is now for $9.99, you get the base Dragon Age Inquisition game, you get a lot of extra content, a lot of content for your money, and a game that you can reasonably expect to spend north of 100 hours on. So for $9.99, that sounds like a pretty good bang for your buck. Moving on from that, we have Furi Definitive Edition for $6.59. Now, Furi was a game that did turn some gamers off because of its brutal challenge, and the issue with Furi's challenge was that it had some random difficulty spikes, so that was a bit of an issue. But if we're just talking about quality gameplay, it has some exceptional fast-paced action combat, hack and slash, it has some twin-stick shoot-'em-up elements, and the game primarily consists of boss fights, so you can see where that challenge comes from. However, I think if you give Furi some time, it is a very enjoyable game, and if you're a fan of more difficult games, it's going to be right up your alley, and considering it's only $6.59 now, I would say it's worth a buy. Moving on from that, we have Lords of the Fallen Complete Edition for $5.99. Now, Lords of the Fallen is known by most people for being like a Souls-like game or a Souls ripoff even. I wouldn't go that far, however, it definitely has its Souls-like elements, but it also offers its own unique elements. Now, if you didn't like Souls, you're probably probably not gonna like Lords of the Fallen, and I wouldn't say that Lords of the Fallen is quite as good as Souls, but it's very good in its own right. And if you just want more of that kind of experience, because of course From Software and Bandai Namco aren't going back to Souls at this point, Lords of the Fallen Complete Edition for $5.99 could be a good supplication for your Souls hunger, and at $5.99, a pretty good pickup.
Known for his preoccupation with the physical world, and his shield being no less than a weaponry master. That's most peculiar, as I would never have suspected Rogar to care for it. No wonder he had the most dedicated followers.
Moving on from that, we have a game that disappointed so many gamers. However, it wasn't a bad game. It's just that expectations were pretty high, and that is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's available for $4.99. Now, I was one that played Mirror's Edge when it came out back in 2008. I had a great time with that game, and while that game didn't do all too well commercially, I think the people that played that game really enjoyed it, and when Catalyst was announced, everybody got so excited, and then the game was released, and it didn't turn out all too well. This is a game that took that Mirror's Edge formula and made it a little bit more open. We saw a lot of games go that open world route this generation, and I think Mirror's Edge Catalyst was one that suffered. The original Mirror's Edge was better as a contained experience, and I think that would have done Catalyst better if they just focused on creating a more contained experience, but added even more to the detail and things like that. There are some story elements that aren't that great either. However, if we're talking about the fundamental Mirror's Edge gameplay, that is still there. The parkour gameplay is solid, the visuals are fantastic, and the combat is pretty good too. I can understand why you were turned off at $59.99. I personally was, but now at $4.99, there's been some time since Catalyst's release. I would recommend you to go back and check it out because it's still such a unique experience. There aren't a lot of games out there like this, and for just $5, it's definitely worth a playthrough. Next up is a game that's a little bittersweet to talk about at this point, and that is Nex Machina. It's available for $7.99. Now, if you guys don't know, Nex Machina was a game done by Housemarque, a Finnish studio that we have been always super high on this channel. They've created some fantastic arcade experiences, including Resogun, Super Stardust HD, of course Nex Machina, which is a twin-stick shoot-'em-up with some great particle effects. It's top-down, and if you like high-quality shoot-'em-ups, it doesn't get much better than Nex Machina. Now, it's a little bittersweet because Housemarque's next game looks to be a Battle Royale title, so kind of unfortunate that they've gone away from these arcade style of experiences and they're producing a Battle Royale game. That game has not been yet released. It's called Storm Divers. But yeah, you can see why personally I would be a little bit upset by that, but still that doesn't take away from the fact that Nex Machina is a great twin stick shoot 'em up, and at $7.99 you can argue this is a bit steep of a price point for a shoot 'em up, but I would say it's well worth it if you're into the genre. Next up we have Pyre for $7.99. Pyre was a title by Supergiant Games, the guys that also put out Bastion and Transistor. Pyre was their most recent game, and it's really hard to say which of their games is the best. A lot will make the argument for Bastion, and I'm probably in that camp. That was also their first game, and from a personal standpoint, I can be a little bit biased towards Bastion, but Pyre is also a fantastic game. It's an RPG that takes place in a high fantasy setting. You play as a character who has been exiled from society, as you would expect with a Supergiant Games title. Some excellent storytelling, great presentation, great music. Those elements they really nail, and a lot of your traditional RPG mechanics are there as well, and those are done rather well. The game has been sitting at a hefty price for quite a while, but now that it's down to $7.99 as a part of this sale, it is the perfect time to check out Pyre, especially if you enjoyed Supergiant Games' other titles. And finally, we have Rayman Legends for $9.59. Rayman Legends is a game that I talk very highly of. Rayman Origins was great as well, and Legends is the follow-up. Legends was actually offered as a PlayStation Plus title recently, so a lot of you guys may have picked it up that way. However, if you didn't and you want a high-quality platformer, it doesn't get much better on the PlayStation 4 than Rayman Legends. Initially, when you play this game, it seems kind of simplistic. However, as you play more and more, you'll see that there is an added level of depth to it. There is a little bit of a challenge, and it's just a very well-crafted experience from start to finish. Is it a game that you're going to spend an enormous amount of time with? Absolutely not, but for a platforming experience, you're not really looking for content. You're just looking for a quality playthrough, and Rayman Legends absolutely offers that, and at $9.59, it is a great pickup. Highly recommend it, and if you did get it from PlayStation Plus, I know a lot of you guys haven't played it yet. I'm telling you, even if you're remotely into platformers, this is a game to try out, and for those of you that don't have access to the game yet, $9.59, great pickup. So that's gonna conclude this video. 10 great deals as a part of the PlayStation Store's double discount sale. All of these deals are under $10. There are definitely some deals available that fall over that $10 threshold, and if you guys want us to cover those, let us know in the comments section down below and we will do so. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts. Thank you for watching and goodbye.